this? Look.
You really want to ingest the byproduct of petroleum production?
Do you have another life you haven't told me about?
It's a drill. They're not organizing breakfast meetings, they're conducting drills.
And what's this one for?
An outbreak of a Category C disease. Oh, it's nothing too serious. Bubonic plague, SARS, bird flu, that sort of thing.
Well, shouldn't you call them back?
Yeah. They send the message twice if it's the real thing, which it never is. Get me out of there in 10 minutes.
Okay.
You have spent 3 times as much as any government science advisor in the same period. Now, you know you really have to stay within your departmental budget.
But a budget is only a probability statement. It's not a definitive prediction. You know something about quantum mechanics?
I'm sorry.
All right, let me try and explain. I cannot predict my future spending any more accurately than I could predict where these papers would fall if I let them drop.
There's league tables to consider. Departmental targets, performance-related pay, cost...
Rachel, surely this could wait. I mean, we're talking about performance-related pay here.
They've sent you another message.
Oh, not the end of the world again, I hope.
Charlie, won't you please come home?
Eunice, forgive me, this is an emergency. We must do this another day. Chaos theory next time, perhaps? Apparently, some workers in the church have found a man dying of some sort of pox-like disease. We'll be liaising with Martin Callan at the local voluntary disease committee.
Voluntary?
They meet once a week to practice their drills and to prepare emergency readiness plans.
It all sounds a bit Dad's army.
Perhaps, but I trust Martin. Until the recent university cutbacks, he was a very respected virologist.
And Captain Mannering was the bank manager.
Excuse me, sir, could you tell me what you're doing here?
Yes, Professor Ian Hood, Government Science Advisor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To see Mr. Callan?
Yes, we are.
This way, please.
Who do you think's going to steal your precious car here, Rachel?
Our first case is Christopher Fisher, a mortician. He was doing some overtime on Friday night. We think the poor bastard must have been lying all weekend.
What was he doing down there anyway?
Clearing the church of human remains so some developer can turn it into yuppie flats.
Martin, is it possible we're dealing with some kind of pox here?
It's definitely a pox. Worse than that, it's behaving like a hemorrhagic.
Is a hemorrhagic as bad as it sounds?
You bleed under your skin and your skin comes off and then you die. So, yes, it's pretty much as bad as it sounds.
Can I assume that containment is well underway?
I'm getting everything I need from the emergency services.
And your own people, where are they?
I think they must have their phones switched off, but it's entirely under control.
Martin, remember how it was with foot and mouth? That could and should have been contained. What started out on a single farm became a national disaster.
And Fisher caught this from one of the old bodies down there, did he?
Oh, dear.
No virus would survive that long without being frozen. No, it's just coincidence that Fisher was in the crypt. I suppose we should be grateful that Mr. Fisher didn't fall ill at Old Trafford on a Saturday afternoon. We'd be in a far worse situation than this.
So it's infectious.
That's understating it slightly, dear. Pox viruses are highly infectious and devastatingly lethal. Before it was eradicated, smallpox had a mortality rate of 40%. Do you actually know what that means, Constable?
It's special branch, actually. And it means that 40 out of 100 people who contracted it would die.
No, it means if we don't find and isolate the source today, by the end of the week, there won't be enough people left to run the hospitals and bury the bodies.
So what's your plan for the media, Martin?
They're hardly a priority just now.
Martin, the media are your absolute priority just now.
Why?
Because the only thing I've seen spread faster than a virus is panic about a virus. If people start to run, we can forget all about controlling this outbreak. 12 hours, that virus will be in every major city, and 24 hours after that, it'll be on every continent.
What do you want me to say?
Say what we always say. You found an unexploded bomb from the Second World War, and you have to secure it.
Will they buy that?
If you're going to tell a lie, tell a big one and tell it off.
Is that a quote?
From the propaganda minister of the regime that dropped that bomb.
So what do you mean, bomb?
The unexploded one you're about to tell the media is the reason for all this activity.
Hey, let him through. Luke.
How many times?
Do you think this Callan can hack it?
He's a first-class scientist.
That's not what I asked. If this situation gets any more dangerous, I'm going to have to withdraw you.
Rachel, you've got to take some risks sometimes. You never get anywhere.
Okay, who's first?
He is.
Thank you. And once again, we find ourselves indebted to Edward Jenner.
Pardon?
He injected serum from a milkmaid with cowpox into a local farmer's son. And that was the first vaccination. The only difference between that boy and you is that the virus you're being vaccinated with was grown in a laboratory rather than in a milkmaid.
This will protect me, though, won't it?
Well, it worked for the boy. When Jenner subsequently injected him with smallpox, he was entirely unaffected.
Didn't actually ask about the boyhood, but...
This vaccine is designed to prevent smallpox. Until we can identify exactly what we're dealing with here, we won't know whether we're protected or not.
So what do we do?
We take every precaution.
Great.
It's John's birthday party this afternoon.
Oh.
Look, I got him this.
What is it?
It's brilliant, look. Look. Look, look. It's what I've got for ages. Look, 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 look. I'm not going to get to his party, am I?
Of course you won't. Be all right. You'll be fine.
Christopher Fisher is our index case, the first patient to present. What we desperately need to find, though, is the source, where and how he got infected. The virus we're looking at seems most likely to be some kind of hybrid pox.
Hybrid?
Yeah, I know. If this happened a few years ago, they might not have closed my department. We live and learn. Well, hopefully we'll live anyway. Now, you've all got your instructions. We've got 12 hours to get this under control. Let's start tracing and chasing. Hood, can you make yourself useful?
Has been known, Martin, yes?
Speak to Fisher's workmates, would you? They need to be vaccinated and quarantined and their families put on fever watch at home.
Do the local hospitals have facilities to cope with quarantining them all?
Yeah, I've arranged a secure location.
What, with individual isolation rooms, negative air filters?
It's a warehouse.
Martin, you can't put everybody who might have been exposed in together like that. If one goes down, they all will.
I have to look at the bigger picture. I'm not going to sacrifice a city to save a street.
Listen, for the past week, you have all been cooped up with a man who is about as sick as it's possible for a human being to get. I'm really sorry, but we are obliged to keep you here until we know what's going on. Now, does anybody know anything about what might have infected Christopher Fisher?
Didn't he get it from the bodies then?
No, he didn't get it from the bodies.
What's going to happen to us?
Quarantine, of course.
Quarantine? What are you talking about?
Treatment is voluntary, the quarantine is voluntary. And nobody's going anywhere until you bloody well volunteer.
Any dead bodies anywhere? Doesn't appear to be. Okay. Christopher Fisher, Christopher Fisher, Christopher Fisher. Well, he obviously lived alone, so he didn't catch it from a flatmate.
Fisher probably didn't return infections till Friday, so we should be okay, but keep an eye out for blood and scabs and flakes of skin. What are we hoping to find exactly?
Anything that points us to the source. All Fisher's colleagues knew was he was divorced and had a kid somewhere. That's not enough to go on, and our chance of containment is slipping away.
Well, he obviously did an awful lot of overtime at the church.
Perhaps he had a second job.
Do you know, I knew a mortician once. He moonlighted as a masseuse.
Really?
Really? Well, there's no paperwork with it, so...
He was juggling 2 jobs. Probably kept the numbers on the speed dial.
Try 4.
Why 4?
Work, ex-wife, kids mobile, second job.
Francis Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, my name is Ian Hood. I'm a government scientist investigating a serious health matter. Who are you?
I beg your pardon?
I'm speaking to you on Christopher Fisher's phone. Have you been employing him?
He's saying I have.
He's not saying anything, Mr. Jackson. He died this morning. I'm coming to see you. What's your address? Yes. He was born in St. John's Hospital.
Why is that important?
Well, it means he's a Barnsley lad. Like me.
The people Fisher was mixing with at his second job. They were dead people too.
So I employed him a few times. He was a qualified embalmer. Find me one of those in a hurry.
I'll need details of everyone he worked with and every body he worked on.
Now, I can't give you those records. They're confidential.
Did Fisher ever handle a corpse that might have been carrying an infectious disease?
What kind of place do you think this is?
Did he?
Well, no. If you suspect an infection, you don't embalm. Disease can survive in a body for a couple of weeks.
Exactly. You're taking out blood clots, liquid blood, stomach contents. Don't try telling me you've got level 4 containment back there.
Which kind of disease are we talking about here?
Does it make any difference?
Maybe.
Well, then, have you heard of the hemorrhagic poxes? Because Christopher Fisher certainly has.
Oh, God.
How have you been feeling, Mr. Jackson?
What?
Tired? Lethargic? Any aches or pains? You noticed any spots or rashes developing recently?
Nobody embalmed here has shown any sign of infection. I promise you, you've done nothing wrong.
Well, apart from not paying any tax or national insurance on Fisher's wages. Closed the shop. There's an infection control team on the way. We shouldn't be here. Especially not when that ridiculous man's in charge.
Rachel, in the past 5 years, the United States has laid out $1 billion for situations like this. And here in Britain, we've set up 73 committees. Whether we like it or not, the Martin Callans of this world are in our front line.
And God help us then.
Please don't invoke God, Rachel. It's science we're talking about, and it's far too serious to bring God into it.
What's wrong?
There are 20 workers.
And?
There should be 21.
It's all right. I'm just looking at the people on the bus.
Playing out. Right, don't open this until your dad gets home, all right? And as for you, cheeky little drink. birthday boy. Don't you be opening them till Dad gets here, all right? I know. Hello?
Yeah, look, it's me. Look, has there been anything on the news about this outbreak?
Oh, Ned, don't give me one of your stories. We promised you'd be here for John's birthday.
Well, we're gonna have to skip his birthday party. We've got to get the kids away.
His friends are invited.
Cancel it. Phone him. Tell him it's cancelled. But can you just trust me for once and not argue about it?
Ned.
You can't stop me. I've not done anything wrong.
No, but you're about to. Ned, you've been exposed to a pox virus.
I just want to see my family.
So does the virus inside you. When it's ready to spread itself, it'll make you cough. And every time you cough, 1 billion tiny virus molecules will be released into the air. Every single one of them could do to your family what it did to Christopher Fisher.
I'm fine.
I know what's driving you, Ned. Believe me, I do know. You want to keep your family safe. You want to get them away from danger. Ned, you are the danger. A billion molecules, Ned. It'll only take one.
See your dad later. Come on, darling. It's okay.
Not going to understand. It's only 5. Not even going to remember me, is he? What is going to happen to them?
We'll look after them, Ned. Promise you that.
Hey. Can you get this to my little boy, please?
It's contaminated. It'll need to be destroyed.
Hey. You've not put my family with my mates, have you?
It's a secure facility. They'll be very comfortable.
Yeah, but that's not the point. My mates have got just as much chance of being contagious as I have. You're putting my family at risk.
You're correct that your family is at a slightly increased risk in the facility, but I have to consider the whole city.
A little boy's birthday, you bastard.
You'll have to sedate him. I'm afraid he's reached the point where he can't see reason. glean anything interesting?
Mr. Christopher Fisher here was moonlighting at a local funeral home. And these are the people that he's embalmed during the past month.
Incubation time is only 2 weeks, so you can forget about those straight away.
You're a gifted scientist, Martin, but you can be bloody rude sometimes. Retired civil servant, 72, stomach cancer. Doctor, 55, pneumonia. Maintenance engineer, 56, industrial accident. Retired postman, 84, heart attack. No recent foreign travel or close family death.
Well, it's got to be the doctor, hasn't it? Let's get his body exhumed and all his contacts into quarantine.
Martin? Of course, the doctor is the most obvious candidate, but I don't have to remind you of the need for thoroughness, do I? I'll visit the doctor's family. Rachel and your people can check out the others.
No. I stay with you.
There's no time, Rachel. No. Listen, the best way to protect me is to help to control this thing.
The biopsy, Mr. Fisher, to identify the virus. Anyone not wearing a mask, now would be the time to leave.
Do you ever win?
Oh, you know what you say. Unlucky in cards, lucky in love.
I hear about your dead maintenance man, Jack Ruddock.
Twin. We keep it a permanent 25 below. You rent space by the pallet, and we'll store anything for you. See that stack over there? Mm-hmm. That's ice from South Pole.
Are you winding me up?
Drill samples for the University Antarctic Survey. Ice cores to ice cream. We do it all.
Very good. Can you show me where Jack had his accident, please?
Yes, sure, Angle. Poor bastard was fixing the refrigeration unit when he fell. Got health and safety have already been here. We're in the clear.
Right.
Well, he should have been wearing a safety harness, but he chose not to. Now, just through it. Step.
Was he unwell at all?
Jack? No. Not until he broke his neck, he wasn't. Poor bastard was fixing the refrigeration unit when he fell.
Did he ever travel abroad?
Well, abroad as in foreign holidays? Not Jack. Thought Blackpool was a bit exotic.
It's Hood.
Anything on the doctor?
Not unless it was a biblical plague sent from on high.
What?
He's a doctor of divinity. Rachel, this is getting desperate.
Why did you mention foreign travel earlier?
Well, we know that Fisher's the first case in Britain because we have a reliable reporting system. Some countries don't have a system. And certain countries wouldn't necessarily tell us if they did have a case.
Right.
Because I think I might have something here.
Committee, you're the owner?
Alice Gibson, assistant manager. Oh, what's going on?
Get your staff together, son. Work is over for today.
Hey, you can't just come in here and start it. Hey!
Protective clothing, please, gentlemen. Take down everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, stop whatever you're doing and go this way. Can I have your full attention, please? If you have any means of identification on you, please have it ready to show one of the police officers. We need to know your name and address. You will be handed a form that you'll need to fill in clearly and in block capitals. We need to temporarily confiscate your mobile phones, and we would ask you to hand them over. Any use of mobile phones in the meantime is strictly prohibited. Anyone feeling unwell should immediately identify themselves to an officer.
I want to know the health status, the names of the provinces they came from, and how long they've been in the country for.
And how many dialects of Chinese do you speak? We don't keep records like that.
A business doesn't keep basic records on their employees.
A business! A business doesn't.
Yeah, people still trust you to store things for them.
Of course they trust us. Supermarkets use us, an abattoir, even the university uses us. That's how reliable we are.
Anybody would care about reliable when they find out you've had a pox outbreak.
Pox? What pissing pox?
You list all your close recent contacts and the places you regularly spend time.
Yeah, it's just like being at the VD clinic, eh?
And you need to sign the consent sheet before I can give you the vaccination.
Listen, you're all right, love. I hate needles, me.
Oh, I'm sure you won't mind this one. It's just a little prick.
Hey, why am I still saying no?
Then you'll be taken to the quarantine unit with your workers.
Martin, the lab results are back on Christopher Fisher's virus.
And?
You were right. It's a hybrid form of variola major. Smallpox combined with another virus.
Yes! A smallpox virus. What have I been saying all along? I knew it. I told them to come back, but they didn't listen. They just closed down the labs and the university departments, and now they come to me to bail them out.
I don't think you can blame them. Smallpox is supposed to have been eradicated.
How arrogant. How arrogant to believe that we could ever vanquish a virus as magnificent as smallpox.
Where do you think it came from?
Well, obviously it arrived via China, but who knows the how? Maybe. They never destroyed all the lab stocks. Perhaps it's been hiding out in the animals, waiting for a chance to strike again. What's it combined with, anyway?
Something called Tanapox. Is that feasible?
Yes, I suppose it is.
Have you come to the right decision?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take everybody's name.
You have, yeah.
Address? Understand what I'm saying? Anybody understand what I'm saying?
No, I seem to understand.
I can't believe that nobody here speaks any English.
I need to know where the house is, where you sleep. Anybody understand?
Right, okay, can I just say that nobody here is in any trouble, okay? So can somebody speak to me? Please? You. What's your name? So nobody here speaks any English. Personally, I find that very difficult to believe, but if that is the way you want to play it, fine. Your flies are undone. So you're the gangmaster?
Are you from the Daily Mail now? No, I'm not the gangmaster.
What then?
Well, I just speak the language.
Right, so have you any idea why we're all here?
Something to do with Jack's accident.
Jack had an infection when he died, okay? And we believe that he contracted it here.
What kind of infection?
Oh, a very serious infection.
Come on, I'm Chinese, I'm not 12.
Fine, it was a pox virus, which is why we need to get everybody here protected, and we need to work out who it came from. So can we please start by you telling me what your name is?
Danny.
Thank you, Danny. So can you just ask them for me? Look, I'm really serious. This is a life or death situation.
呢排有冇人哋發燒啩？有冇啊？有冇啊？
英國，佢今日留喺旅軍，因為佢唔舒服，唔可以返工。
My brother arrived in England last week, but he stayed at the hostel because he was too ill to work.
佢發燒有皮膚敏感啊！
Says he's got a fever and a rash.
我哋鄉下已經有人有呢種病。
咩話
What is it?
A few people in their village back home have had it. Shouldn't we have those suits on they were wearing at the plant?
Danny, we're trying to keep it off the 6 o'clock news.
Oh my God. Who would come halfway around the world for this?
Yeah, they don't come for this. They put up with it so they can send money back home.
It's all right, dear. It's all right. It's what I feared. Breeding ground for bugs and germs.
Hey, these are clean people.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they aren't. It's all right. When you cram people in a place like this, doesn't make any difference.
I mean, Zach, he thinks you're immigration.
Rachel!
To him before Rachel does. She must not be put at risk.
Professor Ian Wolf, there's no access here.
放关这里啊！我没事啊！为什么要关这里啊？你干什么你们啊？放出去！放出去！放出去！这没事，没关系，没关系。啊！来，让我出去吧啊！干什么你们啊？
Is it absolutely necessary for Rachel to be quarantined?
Well, that's as long as I do. She has blood all over her.
How much protection will the vaccine give her?
Well, it'd be wrong to speculate without properly controlled clinical trials.
So I said, how much protection will it give her, Martin?
No more than 50%. Maybe less than 20. She's a hero, Hood. She nailed our source. Whatever happens now, you mustn't forget that.
What about the village she came from?
We've contacted the Chinese. They've already got it quarantined. It's over, Hood. We've contained the outbreak.
Can I help you with something?
So when do I get my own clothes back?
They'll have to be burned, I'm afraid. Sorry. That's another one for the hospital isolation ward.
How many's that now?
12. All of them from the church.
How many of them are dead?
You don't want to know that.
But how long do I have to stay here for?
Don't worry, I'll get you some more information in the morning.
Martin. Luke here has raised a very interesting point.
Wonders will never cease.
Doesn't fit, does it?
What? What doesn't?
The hostel as a source.
Of course it fits. It's bloody perfect.
No, the timing's all wrong, Martin. You see, the Chinese lad is only now beginning to show spots. Now, that's after Fisher. If the hostel were the source, we'd be in the midst of an epidemic.
You're not a virologist, are you, Hood?
No, Martin. But Luke here is.
No, Hood. Luke is training to be a virologist. Viruses affect different racial groups in different ways. The Chinese people probably do just take a little longer to exhibit symptoms. Believe me, that boy might seem to be the first, but he certainly won't be the last. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose most of them tonight.
You're very cavalier with human life, aren't you?
No, I'm not! I just have respect for these viruses, that's all. I understand them. I know what they're capable of.
Is that why you put Rachel with a group of people who might have the virus?
Exactly. Because she might have it too. Look, Hood, I've done my job. And when you finally have to concede how this disease was stopped here tonight, you come to me and apologize.
And if it turns out that Rachel was put with a high-risk group for no reason...
That's not going to happen.
How long before the lab gets the results on that lad?
It's going to be a few hours yet.
Might be too long for Rachel. Is there any way we can get it quicker?
Yes, there is. But we're going to need to get hold of a sample of his blood. Is that what I think it is?
Only if you think it's Rachel's top.
That should have been incinerated. You must have friends in some seriously high places.
I bribed the porter. Do you know what you're looking for?
Of course. Variola major is a huge virus. It's shaped like a brick, surface like a ball of wool.
You've seen it before, then?
Well, only in books.
You say that as if you feel you've missed out on something.
I do. Back in Kellen's day, they used to mix their own pox hybrids in the lab whenever they felt like it. A kind of ready, steady virus. But when smallpox was eradicated in '77, all the fun had to stop.
So not everybody thought Edward Jenner was a hero.
Wow. No wonder he felt ill.
What?
Virus. And lots of it.
I thought you said the smallpox virus was brick-shaped.
I did.
Well, this is spherical.
That's because this is just ordinary, run-of-the-mill, take a week off school, chicken pox.
Oh, my God.
No way, sir. No, you can't go through that. No,
It's
sir.
official. No, you've got to let me through.
Somebody help. Somebody
Ian Hood, authorised government business.
Listen to me.
Professor Hood, you should not be here.
No, and neither should Miss Young.
What?
She's had no more exposure to the virus than I have. The lad in the hostel had chicken pox.
So where does that leave us?
Square one. We're 8 hours into an outbreak of variola virus and we haven't identified its source.
An outbreak of what virus?
Variola, it's the Latin name for smallpox.
Variola means smallpox. Can't believe we've been working alongside it for so long.
Danny, what the hell did you think variola meant anyway?
I don't know, some kind of low-fat spread.
Ice cores from the pole.
Maybe once they were, but not anymore.
What?
The point of ice cores is that they show climate change through differences in the layers. You know, like the rings on a tree.
But I don't see any layers.
Exactly. These have melted and then refrozen.
No. We keep the temperature constant. We get fired if we don't.
Danny?
I'm sure it was around there somewhere. There it is.
Frozen water doesn't lie, Danny.
Jack cocked up the repairs on the fan.
And?
Well, everything started to spoil in this section, so... Jack and Ellis Gibson stayed back one night to move the crates and move it into another area.
That's how it happened. We'll have to find Ellis Gibson, of course.
Well, wait, you're not gonna open it, are you?
Anything virus that's inside here is safe at this temperature.
No, if anything starts leaping out of there and wrapping itself around your face, you are on your own.
Nothing.
Where the hell is it then?
Alice, Lauren said you promised to read her a bedtime story tonight.
Bloody hell, you can say I'm busy, can't you?
Go on, darling. Go and get your pyjamas on. Go on, I'll come in a sec. What the hell is wrong with you,
for
Alice?
fuck's sake!
Don't talk to me like that! And what are you doing there anyway? You look like you're making a right mess.
It's just something for work, all right? Now, can you please leave me in peace?
So where has it gone?
It's not the sample that I'm most worried about. The sample can't cough and sneeze like a sick man can.
Yes.
I need to speak with Ellis Gibson.
I don't care whether it's cards, horses, hamsters or what. You people have got a right nerve coming round here at this time of night.
Mrs. Gibson, from the government, Ellis is in serious danger.
We're not married. I'm sorry about the state of the place. Alice! Oh, we must have gone out. What's all this about anyway? What do you mean, danger?
Oh, Mrs. Please. God, you mustn't touch any of this. Let it ring, please.
We're not here. Keys under the mat if you're a burglar.
Where are you? I can't get you the money tonight. You'll have to give me more time than this.
All right, Martin, you tell me where you are.
He wants £15,000.
How long have you known, Martin?
Ellis Gibson confronted me at the factory.
No, I meant how long have you known they were your samples?
When you said they were Tanapox. It's such a rare combination.
So you knew it wasn't the hostel all along. And you knew that the lad wasn't the source. Yet you sent him and Rachel into your quarantine. You endangered their lives and you seriously hampered efforts to try to control this outbreak. All to save face!
I thought I could handle it myself. This was my area of expertise, Hood. It's what I used to live for.
What the hell did you think you were going to do? When the tests showed that all they had was chickenpox. And what the hell was smallpox samples doing in a commercial freezer?
I don't know. I thought they'd all been disposed of. Some cutbacks. hadn't made the cutbacks, they'd still be stored in a proper laboratory, and none of this would have happened.
Well, it wasn't the cutbacks, Martin. It was you. Look out there. Somewhere out there, Ellis Gibson is wandering around with a deadly virus. A cutback isn't responsible for that, Martin. You are.
It's not fair.
That's very fair, Martin. What isn't fair is the people who have caught this disease in your stupid quarantine. Ellis Gibson's family, who should have been vaccinated much earlier if you'd only told us the truth. That's what's not fair!
I've got your money. What do I do with it?
What do you think you do with it? You bring it to me.
Where?
Central bus station. You're nice and crowded. Where an accident would be a very bad thing, so don't even think of messing me about.
Say, I have no idea what you're doing. What happens now? Is your bodyguard going to arrest me?
I don't think they write laws for situations like this, Martin. That's a matter between you and your conscience. Is that helping, Ellis?
Where's Callan? Where's my money?
Forget about your money, forget about your gambling debts. They're not your biggest worry, Ellis.
Go on then. Make a grab for it. No, didn't think so.
Ellis, you're infected with smallpox.
Protected. I had the vaccination.
No, you were infected the night that you and Jack moved those boxes around to cover up the thaw-out.
Did you know about that? Look, if you don't pay me what I'm asking, somebody else will.
Listen, there's no market for what you're trying to sell, Ellis.
Somebody says on the internet.
Look, you're not thinking straight. It's the virus, Ellis. It's already beginning to affect your brain.
I can sell it!
What you gonna do? You gonna put it on eBay? Listen, it's you that I'm worried about. If you infect 10 people, they disappear out into the crowd, and they infect another 10 people.
You want it? No! Look, you're bleeding. Me too, so you better play nicely.
What's he say? Rachel!
Back off!
back in the concourse, please.
Rachel!
Alice.
What do you think you're doing? Hey, get back behind the barrier. I'm here to take care of that. Listen, I've been told not to let people near this thing. What are you doing? Hey, bring that back here, you. Oi, come here. Jesus Christ.
Just give me the money.
Can you at least tell me where I'm...
Drive!
Ellis, will you listen to me? Listen to me, please. Look, this is not getting you anywhere. It's just...
Stop! Do you want me?
You're infected, Ellis. You're infected. Can you hear? Listen. You're at the parcel now.
What's going on? What's going on?
It's not my fault, is it?
Get it going!
What are you going to do now, Ellis, eh?
Open the door.
Open the fucking door!
No! Where's going?
There was a man...
Where is it?
Well, there was a man who's a little guy who had identification just coming here. He just rushed under the barrier. I tried to stop him, put it in a yellow bag, and he disappeared on there. I mean, I did chase him. He just wouldn't stop.
You know, Rachel, when I was a lad, I played with clockwork toys. That toy was designed by NASA scientists. It's got 7 miniature electric motors, it dances, got sensors on its hands and feet, it belches, it snores, it even farts.
Do you know what, Hood? That was a really generous thing to do.
No, it wasn't. I bought one for myself.
Leave me alone! I work in climate research. They're terrified. They know I can prove we're on the verge of a catastrophe.
What if this was really important?
For the sake of truth, help me.
I think you're hiding something that you don't want your industry paymasters to release.
You've stolen something from me, and I want it back.
Did you get it or didn't you?
Of course I got it.
Bloody hell! Look at this, it's code, it's all code. Page after page after page. God damn it!
More new drama on 4 next as we journey into the world of the subconscious, travelling to places that exist only in the mind. It's the stuff of nightmares, starring Naomi Watts. Sleepwalkers, next on ITV4. And 11th Hour is back at the same time next week. Well, next tonight, the ITV News.